I pushed the button, and if I was a singer, I'd sing the IU fight song right now, to be honest with you.
What's going on at IU?
Well, we happen to be 5-0, and we can talk about it now.
I love IU soccer. Let's talk about IU soccer.
No, we're talking about IU football.
Football, 5-0.
5-0.
You guys got a shot at winning state.
How about it?
Who'd you guys play?
Okay,
Did you play
we
Hamilton
played,
Heights? Who'd you play? Come on, talk to me.
The first three.
Come on. And
Old Dominion.
Okay, can we pause for a second? I'm part of the first three because my son coaches Indiana State.
I know. I think, what did we win that one? 63 to
70.
nothing? 70 to whatever?
72 to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, first three were some high schools, but we got a great Big Ten win against.
For all you parents paying for your kids' education to go to a high school, that's amazing. I love it. Go back.
Should we just stop and
start
over?
No, we never do that. We never stop.
Can't do it. We've never stopped.
No, don't stop till you get enough. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I just ticked off all the Indiana State alums that I actually have in my network, so I apologize. I didn't mean it that way.
That's all right.
But when you've watched as much losing football at IU as I have, like a win's a win, and we're in the past we'd be sitting here going, we're one win away from a bowl, and be happy about it.
Absolutely.
And now everybody's all fired up, but. Yeah, we had a big game against Illinois a couple of weeks ago. We won a nail-biter against Iowa. Iowa's always got a tough defense.
Yeah, they are. They don't score, but they don't let you score.
Yeah. So just fun to be a Hoosier football fan again. We have a bye week, and
awesome.
then we go to Oregon.
Ooh, that was a big win Oregon had against Penn State. I didn't get to see it. Just keeping updates. It was good to see a local kid get a pick at the end. Dylan Thieneman played at Westfield.
That's right.
That was kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and hey, Josh, good to see you. This is the Lucky 13 podcast.
Let's make this all about Indiana football today. Our next coach will be Coach Signetti.
He'll be our guest.
Speaker.
This podcast is brought to you by Marlboro Reds. Coach Sig.
I love it, Coach Sig.
It's
Classic.
great. You walk around campus these days, and everyone's either got like a T-shirt on that's got something to do with like Marlboro and Coach Sig and all that, or they have something on about the bison. Because we brought the bison back this year.
I don't understand the bison.
Oh, for years. Me growing up, the mascot of IU football was the bison.
Why
is
that?
It was a bison.
Because
I have no idea.
Is it the Buffalo mentality, run to the store?
I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, they announced before the season they were bringing the bison back. And so literally for the first game, the bison jumped out of a freaking airplane, landed on the field.
You're talking about a mascot, not like they...
Oh, yeah.
They didn't put a
not
bison
a live,
in a pair.
Yeah, we're not Texas.
I was going to say, I have not heard any PETA protests, so I didn't think you...
No.
I love Ted's Montana Grill, though. It's a delicious sandwich.
So the bison is our mascot, and he rides around a little it's a mix between like a moped and a motorcycle. It's a souped up moped, drives around. But now all they wear is this IU swag with the bison on it. So I don't have any of that.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, everything south of 70 is a little different, so let's just go with it.
Okay. Oh man. Well, it's good to see you again. We haven't seen each other in a couple weeks.
Sorry about missing last week.
It's all good.
Daughter had a homecoming thing, and so we did that, and so missed the podcast. But I'm so excited we get back on today.
I thought about doing a solo session, but it just wouldn't be the same without you.
Oh well, most of the time I'm sitting over here taking notes. Anyways, you're teaching. I'm
recently.
I'm absorbing.
Not recently.
So let's dig in. Can
we
talk
about the speaking engagement you did today?
It was awesome. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Jet Access. Got to have a great time with them. I spent 2 days with them, so I went to their day 1 and day 2. Part of it was their EOS kickoff. They have a great implementer out of Michigan. And then day 2 was start to put some application. If you think about EOS vision traction, today was more traction. And I got a keynote today and hopefully tie some things together. But it was awesome to see 80 people, 80 leaders in a room. I'm literally cheeks on the edge of their seat, hands going, asking questions. That's an engage, grow, or die type group. And when you look at a group that thinks about waking up every day to elevate people's lives, obviously elevate with the jet makes sense, but it's bigger than flying jets and running FBOs. It's about elevating the people who work for them and other people's lives. Man, it was contagious to be there. It really was.
And they're a relatively new company.
Yeah.
They're not, maybe 5 years old?
Yeah,
6,
the Ricker family, Quinn
like
does an amazing job with them. Jason is the integrator. They've really built something special. And, if you're an Indianapolis native, pretty much all our FBOs around here, that's them. And they just continue to grow them and build them. I was just out by Zionsville, by the executive airport, and that's growing and expanding. So just love to see what they're doing, and I can't wait to see where they go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get to hang out in those FBOs all the time when you're jetting around the United States in your private plane.
They love to take my 8 kids and me together. That's great.
Yeah, there might be an ROI. If you travel a lot, there might be an ROI.
I need a punch card. I need a punch card before I even consider it. I can't get a punch card for my haircuts. I've asked the dentist for punch cards for my kids. I've asked doctors, so we got to figure that out.
Not going to work.
While I was there, here was my epiphany, and it was kind of based off of I was cleaning out my library a little bit, that leadership, we think it's just this inherited trait, and it's not. It's a taught trait. It's a learned trait. You have to go out and seek it and find it. You can mimic. But I started thinking about the question I got that registered to me today was, what book would you recommend me reading? And of course, my response is, what stage of life are you in? Because it's impossible.
That's a great answer.
And they were like, I'm new to the leadership. And so this book popped in my head because it was one of the ones that drove me. So if you are a solopreneur moving to that entrepreneur where you're having employees, or you're just in that leadership stuck, even if you've read this book before, go back and reread it. It just triggers things. And I want to talk about The Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell today.
John the legend.
He is amazing.
He's written like 125 books.
Yeah, he's got speaker series out there. I've even considered going and speaking for him. Just don't know if I got that kind of skill set. So that's an intimidating person.
It was actually the conference that we kicked off True You at. It was a leadership conference. We did it at Bankers Life Fieldhouse at the time.
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
Conseco, I believe.
Yeah.
And we kicked off True You back in 2014, in February of 2014. And we had him in.
Oh, my gosh.
We had John Gordon in.
Okay, yeah.
And we had one other speaker that I can't remember. He's the lollipop guy. He's from Canada. And he's got this talk about lollipops and leadership. That's not him. But anyway, I mean, Maxwell is the real deal. Like, it's unbelievable. I got to spend a lot of time with him over the course of 48 hours.
Is he the real person when he's on stage and when he's on stage?
Exactly the same guy.
Love it.
Exactly the same guy. So
we'll talk about that in a future episode about David Green, how it's the same person on and off. I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
So there are 21.
There's 21. And so what I did for today is let's just print the 21, shorthand it.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of did this random draw. If you had 3 that you believe in, or not that you believe in, that you lean in and that you really feel are necessary for new people, and I pick 3, and then we got a couple backups. Does that work?
Yeah, perfect.
So you get to go first.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the 5th law that's in his book. It's called The Law of Addition.
All right, walk me through.
Leaders add value by serving others.
Oh.
We talk about, being in HR, we always talk about an org chart. And when you see that org chart or accountability chart, you see that org chart, usually the CEO, the owner, they're at the top of that org chart. I like to invert the org chart.
Absolutely.
So that the leader is at the bottom, because our job is to serve our team members. That is our client, is our team members. And if we do that really, really well, then they're going to serve our clients in a great way.
Yeah, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you take care of them in a way that they feel that's how they'll take care of your customers. Yeah. I love that concept. I'm going to add something to this, which I didn't plan on adding. I'm really focused in on that org chart concept right now.
Yeah.
And this law of addition is so important. When you build a company with your org chart first, or accountability chart first, what happens is you think people come in and they own the position they're in. But when you build it right, they're actually stewards of the position they're in, because that seat stays. And the law of addition now becomes, I'm going to add somebody to be a steward of that seat and raise it to a new level. And so that's where that standard comes in. When you take ownership, then I get to do it however I want to do it. And when I leave, it was only done the way I do it. So just hyping on that addition. Yeah. I really believe this now. Even you as the owner of True You, you don't own that. You're a steward of that, because the seat you have, you might own the LLC.
Yeah.
But the seat that you own in that, you're a steward of, and we should always want somebody else to be a steward of that seat.
Yeah. And so when you think about the accountability chart, get it, want it, capacity to do it.
Correct.
It's like, I need somebody to steward the seat.
Love it.
And do they have those key components to be able to go be a great steward of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love it.
So let's move on. Law of the lid. That's probably the one that I can't tell you. When I get to speak and get opportunities to visit with other leaders, I talk about this on the regular, and I use an analogy of all of us have the capability of being a 10. Most of us will only get to a 6 or 7 in life. And we get to a 6 or 7 because of 2 things. One is because we don't know how to get to the 10, and or our manager doesn't have the skill sets, will sets, or the drive to help us get to where our next level is. Great leaders see what your potential is, which is the dirtiest word in the English language, and say, I see where you're at today. I see what you're capable of, and I'm actually going to be the one who helps you understand the effectiveness that I can grow you to on that lid. Lots of people stifle that lid, and I think that is a leadership malfunction, and we should always be not the smartest person in the room is the easiest way to describe it. When the law of the lid's really applied, you're no longer the smartest person in the room because you've grown all those around you.
Yeah, and the lid isn't static.
No,
right? The lid keeps growing.
It
what you were capable of doing 20 years ago is so different than what you're capable of doing
absolutely.
today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My kids would tell you I'm a better parent today than I was 20 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we just have to keep we have, especially with this younger generation that we get to work with, we have to keep encouraging them as to what they're really capable of doing.
Correct.
And you get a lot of really confident kids, but you have a lot of other kids through whatever their upbringing or their addiction to inside of this phone or inside of a computer or something, and they don't have as much confidence in their own abilities and skill sets. We got to keep raising that.
So for fear of being too philosophical, I want us as an entrepreneur, when you hire somebody, the person you hired is not who's working for you, the person who you want to help them become. Yeah. And focus in on where they're going to be at a year from now and make that your focal point. I'm going to grow them to that level. That doesn't change the day in, day out that we have, but hyper focus in on the law of the lid, see what their lid is a year from now, and start growing them to it, and that lid will move.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that leads right into my next one, which is number 3, the law of process.
All right.
And so he defines it as leadership develops daily, not in a day. I've about a year ago, I started using this phrase of it's on my laptop.
Oh, let's
brick
see it.
by brick.
Oh, okay.
Brick by brick with this concept because there are no overnight successes, right? I mean, I had a great time for 9 years working for a company called Defender Direct. They grew from nothing to 750 million, 800 million
in about
18
6 months.
years. No, yeah. And the thing is the thing was barely profitable for like the first 8 years. They paid attention to every dollar all the time, right? And then boom, they took off like a rocket ship, and people would come and say, "Wow, you're like an overnight success." And it's like, no, Defenders was not.
No.
It just, nobody just noticed.
Yeah, I love younger kids talking about the Bulls and Michael Jordan's 6 championships. They don't look at the 5 years, 6 years prior to that
100%.
when they're barely making the playoffs and scratching by.
Yeah, and so leadership is the same thing. We got to show up every day, get a little bit better today, have a process for how we're going to do that, whether that's the people you're spending time around, whether that's reading, putting good things into your head, learning, all of those things, throwing yourself out there and trying and screwing up and learning from it. It's not going to happen overnight. There are lots of examples of really, really shitty leaders in this world that learned over time and became so much better, and now they're heralded as some of the best leaders that ever lived.
Yeah, we talk about what is it? If you go to some of the richest people in the world, wealthiest, biggest names, they have 1 or 2 skeletons in the closet, be it a bankruptcy or something that's gone wrong, and that's how they learned leadership, because they had to hit that bottom and learn from it to get there. So I appreciate that a ton, which leads me into the next one, because when you're there, here's what we got to lean on, which is number 2, the law of influence. The true measure of leadership is the influence that you carry, and that has a negative and a positive side to it. There is a positive and negative intent. You can influence somebody to find their true self and become better at what they do, and you can influence people and organizations to have a negative intent and watch it go by. And leadership carries both weights. And so because of that comes great responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, you can lead for good things and you can lead for bad things. Like,
Correct.
Let's look at Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Great leader, right? Had huge influence, led for all the wrong things.
Yeah, you stay
out
out
of Hitler.
Yeah,
same
correct.
thing. Like we could go through a lot of people.
Yeah. We can go from Jesus to Hitler.
Yeah.
Can't disqualify the leadership ability they had. You can't agree with what you have to really have your own moral high grounds on where they went.
100%.
Leadership at the end of the day is getting people to follow at a point of they have a belief system and where we're going more so than where we've been.
Yeah, and I think really, really leaders that are really good at this law of influence, they carry a large burden, because sometimes leaders can then start to lead for things that aren't always positive. I mean, how many people have shown up in the news in the last 10 years taking advantage of people, and now they're in prison? Things like that. You got to be just really careful, because you start to get people that you're leading by influence, and people want to follow you. And if you start going down this bad path, it can be destructive to you and to them.
Which is why I'm going to give a shout out to you and a couple companies that I know you work with. Those folks, when they start to see that, they put a board around them. They got to put some people around them, because left to our own devices, narcissism's real, and we'll lean into it. We'll look at my name in lights, and sometimes you need that board of directors just to keep you on track of how'd you get here and how we're going to get to our next step.
Yeah. And a little sidebar on that, you got to listen to them too.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You have to listen to them. So I think that was one of the things, Dave Lindsay, who owned Defenders, he put an advisory board around him to begin with, and he listened to them.
Yeah.
And there were things that I know that he was told to do that he disagreed with, but he trusted that board of advisors.
They weren't trying. They weren't doing it for themselves.
On the flip side, in personal life or professional life, you put people around you, and they are telling you you're about ready to drive your car into a wall and you don't listen to them. And guess what happens? You drive your car into a wall and your life falls apart.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to them for sure.
All right, take me next.
Similarly is law of magnetism, and that's really who you are is who you attract. And I so believe in this. I so believe in this. And it has its positive things and it has its negative things. So I'll go to the positive things first, right? You got to make sure as a leader that you're going out and what you're representing is what your organization's all about.
Correct.
Because when you do that, then people are going to start calling you and saying, I want to work for you. I want to be around you. And it's not an ego thing, but it's like, I think I can get better as a person.
Yep.
If I, if I go and I work with you or I work around you, the whole thing.
Correct.
We get comments all the time where people are like, hey, when you have an open position at True You, I'd love to come to work for you guys because of the stuff that we're doing.
Yep.
And that's a really neat piece of feedback to really get. Now, the downside of it is this. A lot of leaders only hire people that look like them.
Yeah.
Right. And so in many ways, I'm going to attract as a leader people that are similar to my leadership style. And that's not always a good thing.
No.
There's this phrase, like hires like. That can be a really good thing and it can be a really bad thing. If all I did was hired a bunch of Mike Lantzes, my personality, my work styles, my working geniuses, we wouldn't get one damn thing done. Okay? Because I'm a visionary, I'm an idea guy, but taking it all the way through the finish line, I got to have people like Marissa Anderson and Chris Mills.
You'd have full grease boards everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. It'd be crazy. So you got to be a little careful of your magnetism attracting people that are exactly like you and only hiring people like
that. And if I can take that magnetism one more step, let's just think about magnets in general. Magnets attract, but if you flip those magnets, what do we know about them?
They detract.
And that's not a bad thing as well.
Yeah.
But you got to be aware that maybe my magnetism isn't attracting a talent I need.
Yeah.
And I have to be aware of that as well.
Yeah. How about you?
That moves me. My next one, which it's almost like we're aligned, like we planned this, was number 10, which is law of connection. So it's one thing to connect them, to get them to attracted to you. But at the end of the day, and this is why I think I love EOS so much, because you do lead with core values and you do lead with core focus. You don't lead with jobs. You don't lead with to-dos and tasks. Is that if you don't touch the soul, touch the heart, there's no point in trying to touch the brain. And you got to connect there, and you got to get to know who they are and what their hopes and dreams are. And great leaders know where you're wanting to go and where you want to be, not just what you do. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, for sure. I think that is I think that is spot on, and people are just attracted to people all the time, and it's just so important. It leads to. I'm going to give one more. Can I give one more?
Yeah, and then I'm going to come back to that connection before.
Well, go ahead. Stay there.
I'm going to challenge if you're listening and you're thinking about this, go to your employee files and see if you have a form document in there. We've talked about form before: family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Do you know those 4 things about your client, about your employees? Can you tell me about their family? Can you tell me about where they worked before and what they liked and didn't like? Can you tell me what they do when they're not at work? What do they have fun doing and what's important to them? Can you tell me why they work? It's not just, to make money. It's to create something else. What are they trying to build? What are they trying to get to? And do you know those? I call them the bucket list. Do you know the $100, $250, $500 bucket list? I just heard one of my clients just bucket listed his folks, and one of his people. They have thought for 30 years about going to an Alabama football game. They bought 2 tickets and sent them to an Alabama football game. That person's locked in forever. Because they only told them that once, but they documented it. That's important to them.
Yeah. Form.
That's a different connection.
Family, occupation,
recreation,
and money.
And money and motivation.
Money and motivation.
Yeah. Motivation for me is if they were sitting in your organization 3 years from now, what does their life look like? Do you know? Have you sat down and asked what their life looks like? You know what you want them to do in the organization, but you ask what their life looks like. And when you put those two together, you've connected differently.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's an easy takeaway for any leader out there listening right now. Just
put it in
open up an Excel spreadsheet, whatever, put it in your CRM,
if you put a form file with a bucket list, you'll know more about your folks, and you'll be taking some really, really deep, let's just call it connection points.
Yeah. So we had the opportunity to spend a day together a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We went up to a leadership event featuring David Green and Bill High.
So
David Green, the founder of Hobby Lobby. And this was put on by a company that is an amazing company up in Warsaw, Indiana called Wildman Business Group. They're a commercial laundry company. being run by third generation. There are fourth generations in the business right now. I get the opportunity to sit on their board of directors, and they have fully subscribed to the Dream Manager concept.
I love it.
And Dream Manager, a book written by Matthew Kelly,
Yep.
and it really talks about that bucket list or that the dreams. And so they talk about they've got 500 employees. They want all their employees dreaming.
Yeah.
To the point where they have like 3 or 4 full-time dream managers.
Yeah.
That all they do is go and spend time with their employees, helping them dream.
Absolutely.
And they have examples where employees have gone out and helped build a habitat house for one of their coworkers.
Unbelievable.
Because that was part of their dream. And and the dream managers, they go out into the marketplace and the community and help these dreams come true and all that.
It's connecting.
I mean, you think anybody's ever going to leave Wildman Business Group when they were the catalyst to them getting a home?
Correct.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's bigger than a job.
Yeah, for sure. I want to go into one more. We got time. Let's do one more each. So the law of buy-in. So people buy into the leader, then the vision. And again, I think that both things are so important, but I want to throw a cautionary tale out a little bit. Leaders need to understand that no matter how powerful your vision is, if you as the leader are not walking the talk every single day towards that vision, towards your core values, people aren't going to buy into that vision.
Correct.
And so if you sit here and say that, client first always, okay, if that's your stance, but yet you as the leader don't walk that talk,
I agree.
They're not going to believe you, right? It's just like raising kids, right? You can't tell your kids that drugs are bad and then go out there and do drugs. You just can't do that,
Puff, puff, give.
right? And so I think that that's an important part, and so it's a huge responsibility on leaders, and why I think some people don't want to become leaders, right? A lot of these things, people aren't willing to make the sacrifice to go and do.
Let's go prior to the NIL, okay? Kids would go choose a school, and I would argue there's a lot of other things that can go with the school, but they chose it on the coaches that were going to coach them.
Yeah.
And so it's to the point where the NCAA recognizes that so much. This just happened in UCLA. They fired the UCLA coach 3 games in, and they give all those kids 30 days to decide if they want to stay or not.
Yeah.
Because they knew they went to UCLA for that coach.
Yeah.
And then the vision that coach had. Because every team's got the same vision.
Yeah.
We're going to make the college football playoffs, and we're going to be on blah, 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 blah. Take NIL money out, take all that stuff out. That's the vision.
Yeah.
That vision's usually shared with everybody. There's a part that can be unique for everybody, but they bought that coach. And the fact that an NCAA team can say, a coach has left, that kid needs an opportunity to go find the right leader now.
Yeah.
Is just it just tells so much about what you just had in there in the buy-in.
Yeah, and I would let me just take this a step further a little bit. As you're thinking, as organizations think through reorganization, they need to remember that too.
Correct.
Like, you got to do what's best for the business, but don't be mad at an employee if you walk up to them and say, "Hey, by the way, you're now reporting to Josh instead of Mike, and I joined this company because of Mike."
Correct.
Don't
I've
be
been on
mad
the
at
other
me
side
if
of
I
that.
decide I want to go a different direction.
I was on the other side of that. I understand that.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Good. You got one last one?
Well, we're almost at time, so let's call it there.
Okay.
If you don't mind, but I just want a few recaps.
Yeah, sure.
So I know you started with law of process.
Law of process. I started with law of addition.
Law of addition.
But yeah,
my fault.
but process.
Yeah. Just a couple things that we should be doing on that.
Yeah. Law of addition, just really understanding that we, as a leader, we serve other people. So walk into your office every day and say, how can I serve the people in the room?
And when I'm serving them from a law of the lid, make sure you understand that they have a potential and it's your responsibility, you're a steward of helping them reach that next level. It's not them just working for a paycheck and getting job done for you. Help them get where they want to get.
Yeah. Law of process, leadership doesn't happen overnight. Brick by brick, just focus, show up every day, lay 20 bricks. Show up the next day, we'll lay 20 more. 5 years from now, you're going to look back and you have built an entire house.
And as you're laying it brick by brick, remember, they get tired. They get tired of laying those bricks. Your law of influence, that it's not just the showing the vision, it's the motivation, it's the day in, day out touch points.
Mm-hmm.
That law of influence is critical to Leadership 101.
Yeah. And then the law of magnetism, who you are is who you attract.
Yeah.
Show up every day saying, I want to attract this particular type of person.
And then when you attract them, just get connected. Find out what's important to them outside of work, what's going to make them part of your organization for the long haul. The saving on turnover is one thing. There's a dollar figure to that. But what you can do to impact other people's lives when you really find out what that is, so much more important.
Yeah. And the final one was law of buy-in.
Yep.
They're going to follow you as a leader before they're going to follow your vision. So if you can create an environment where they are connected to you because of who you are, and then you can cast in a really compelling vision, you got them for life.
Yeah, I just want to leave here and go start putting all this back in play.
Let's go do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
You got it.